Hey YouTube, it is Lucy. As far as Sutton goes, his chromosomal abnormality is starting to show itself, which is frustrating, and it kind of comes back to like life and grieving is hard right now because like I'm grieving a life that I used to know, and I'm having to learn to accept a life that is to come. And the same thing with Sutton. It's like, I don't know if anybody else has been in my shoes and will understand, but like the moment you see that positive on that pregnancy test, even though we shouldn't, we get this idea of what life is going to be like. And you know, there are some parts of his life that will never be like what I had in my heart. And that's on me. I shouldn't have had those expectations, but I did. And it's my job to nurture what God's plans are for him and to be the mother that I need to be for him. And I know that. But just because I know it doesn't mean that I don't grieve it at the same time. You know, when he was born, we knew he wouldn't look different. So it's hard to be like, oh, my kid has this chromosomal abnormality when he looks just like all my other babies look. He set up before all my other babies did, and my other babies set up quick. They set up at 4 months unassisted. And he was like a week or two earlier than all of them. And I thought, oh, he's not gonna have any developmental delays. He's doing great. You know, he started rolling over before they did. He was mama, dada, and all these other things before my other kids did. And then it just stopped. He doesn't say mama. He doesn't say dada. He doesn't roll. And part of me is like, well, he was doing it. Is it something I did? It always comes back to me. Is it something I did? Is it something I didn't do enough of? Is it something I failed at? Is it something I? And it's a lot that I'm having to learn. You know, it's not always something I could have controlled. He is 7.5 months old. He's not rolling over. He's not crawling. Cannot pull himself up. You know, there's a lot of things that he can't do. So his chromosomal abnormality is starting to show itself. That's tough. I don't know why it's tough, but it is. And I think it's just because, like I said, you know, him looking like everybody else, it was almost like I'd forgot about it. Despite going to all the appointments that I go to with him, it was, I don't know, it's weird. It's really weird to explain. But it kind of all caught up with me here this month. And it's been a lot. So emotionally, I'm dealing with that. And everything is just heavy. It's really heavy on my shoulders. And I found myself very tense. And even when I'm sitting, I find myself with my shoulders pulled up to my arms, and I'm just my hands are clenched, my elbows are tucked in, and shoulders are raised, and I'm just and I'm hurting. I'll realize that I'm hurting, and I'm like, oh wow, like my shoulders were way up here, and I've got to, you know, this, I can't do this all the time. So I'm having to just learn to pray and let go of things and accept things, and it's a lot to process. Those are some of the bad things that are going on with him, but at the same time, his therapy is going great things with that. His doctors say he's doing amazing. Nobody has a single complaint. It's just me, and they all tell you, chromosomal abnormality or not, don't compare your kids to your other kids, but I do. They've told me it all along, you know, don't do that. They're different. Hudson didn't talk until later. And when she started talking, it was when she doesn't shut up. And it's a good thing. She's very well articulated and very mature, and the girl is just verbally gifted. And it came out of nowhere. It blows me away. So I know that things, you know, they don't always go down the same path, and they've got their own paths, and it can be great in the end, but it's just different with Sutton. I feel like it's harder for me to process, and I want to make sure that I'm fighting hard enough for him and I'm doing enough for him. And they all tell me I am, but I don't feel like I am. And it's that internal struggle. And again, I feel like there's at least one mom out there who can relate. That's it. That's an update. That's a recap. I am pumping. I am busting my butt with that. I'm not getting a whole lot of where I want to be, but it's going. I will see y'all later. Bye, YouTube.